Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Chips and Talk. This is episode 51 of the not really critically acclaimed and not really commercially acclaimed podcast by your host, of course, Super Jesus Jackson. Thank you so much for joining me today with this episode 51. Pretty important episode. I mean, technically more important than episode 50. Right? But thank you, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube. My YouTube, of course, is Super Jesus Jackson. Thank you so much. And hopefully you can see me well. It's quite dark everywhere else but my face, which is kind of depressing, but it is what it is. Some of you might recall last week's episode, I did say I sent out a community post for people to submit their questions. I feel like I'd want to do a Q&A for episode 51. I really should have done it for episode 50, but knowing me, you know that I just don't do stuff when I need to do them, so I do them a little later. But you know, it's fine, whatever. Episode 51 Q&A. I only got 2 inquiries, and they're both really good. But for those of you who are not familiar with my podcast, Chips and Talk, we literally get any kind of snack. Doesn't have to be chips, although it is preferred. And then we just kind of talk about what I've been up to. And then eventually, if I run out of ideas, we hit the internet and we talk about random topics. But in this case, like with other episodes of the podcast, I am really full. I went to the gym and I did some Christmas shopping errands. And I came back and I just pigged out. And it was kind of a bad pig out. It was all right when I was eating it, but it's one of those things where I was like hungry, you know, and so I was just eating whatever I could. But it wasn't the best thing to eat. And I knew it, but somehow I thought it was going to be okay. And I guess it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst. But I basically ate Stouffer's mac and cheese. And no offense to Stouffer's or frozen foods in general, but I just can't do frozen foods. Like I literally cannot find the flavor. Maybe I cook it all wrong. That could be a huge part of it because I'm not used to cooking frozen food. So it wasn't really that good. And you know, and then I had some like cucumber and I had some really spicy grilled chicken along with like a bread. What was it? Yeah, I ate all that shit. Oh my God, it was a lot of food. It was like this like cheesy, like sort of bread thing that looked like a cinnamon roll, but it was like a cheese bread. That's what it was. So it was a lot of fucking food. And I have somewhere to be like in like 40 minutes or so. And I should have just said no. And what I should have done is I should have, God damn it. Why does my fucking TV do that? I really need to change that up. There we go. You know, like I guess I should have held back so I could have had a good snack for you all. Could have done some ASMR, but I'll be drinking some water. That I'll definitely be drinking. God, do I look good? I hope I am. I think, I don't know, the camera is really struggling to get my features here, but it's all right. Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of, I think the darkness and the light and just the way everything is right now, it's just fucking everything up. So whatever. I mean, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I'm super full. It wasn't the best idea. Frozen foods just tend to really screw me over. So that's unfortunate, but that's kind of weird. Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, so now I know for sure no frozen foods at all. I mean, before the Stouffer's mac and cheese, I was gonna, you know, not like I would not get any more frozen food after that. But, you know, my girlfriend was like, oh, the Stouffer's mac and cheese is a mac and cheese I used to eat when I was young. And you know, we all loved it. And so, you know, she recommended it to me, which is not her fault. But yeah, it's definitely not for me. But again, maybe I just didn't cook it right. Cook it well, whatever. But yeah, so I'm super fucking full. So I'm sorry about that. But at least you're going to get some water ASMR, I guess. But maybe that's not the best thing for you. Maybe you hate ASMR in general. Maybe you hate me. But that being the case, why are you here? So, but anyways, let's get to the questions. Yeah, because I believe Should I start with the questions or should I start with what I've been up to? You know what? Let's start with the questions. That was the whole point of this. Okay, so first question is from Alex Swaim. She is possibly my number one fan, I would say. She has been pretty active on my channel. She doesn't comment on every single video, but I think she does like every single one of them. But she commented and she asked, what did she ask? I'm trying not to ruin the airplay on the TV here, but I believe she asked, what has been so far my best success so far in my life? And if I don't have one, what is my ideal success that I hope to achieve? Well, that's a great question, Alex. Thank you so much for submitting that. My favorite success or my best success, I don't know. I don't think I have one. If we're objectively speaking, I graduated, college. I'm the first one in my family to do so. That's pretty remarkable, but I don't like to pat myself so much on the back with that one because it just so happened to be that I was the only one that was able to do that in a way. And granted, other people in my family could have done it, but it would have been different. It would have taken longer, perhaps. I'm not sure. So I had the best tools in the shed from the very beginning. I had the best deck of cards to achieve that goal. So I don't really feel like it was something that I did, but I don't know. That's the whole thing of are your successes solely yours, or is it a combination of just help from people and circumstance? And obviously it's probably a little bit of both, of course, but I like to think that I like to hope that it is purely me. But of course, I did receive some help, and just the circumstances that I was brought into, I was able to achieve that goal. And so I feel very lucky, but at the same time, I did it. It was me who did it. So I guess, yeah, I'll 50-50 pat myself on the back for that one, right? But yeah, that's objectively speaking. I would say, if I'm being, kind of, I don't know, hopeful, or in some way, kind of, not edgy, but just be that person that tries to find success even when things aren't going super duper well. I'm a person in general that doesn't think that thinks that things don't go super well all the time. I very much focus on what needs work, what isn't good, more than I focus on the things that are good. But that's a me thing. But I would say probably my biggest success is being on YouTube for, at this point, more than 2 years. That is insane to me, because before I started the YouTube, I just didn't think I was capable of being consistent with anything at the end of the day. I always thought in my head, I would do it if I really had the equipment or the urge or motivation, whatever. I've always wanted to do it, but it just really never happened. And it wasn't until the pandemic where I was able to finally get my YouTube started. Excuse me. And it was it was a revelation to me. I was like, oh my God, in my head, I was like, I'm probably going to upload, a video a week, and for a month, I'll do it, and then I'll stop. And I never stopped. Never. And that is a pretty cool feat for me. I think it's really hard, especially for YouTubers, to be consistent because you don't see growth probably for years. I'm at 755 subscribers, I think, and that's after at this point, more than 2 years, way more than 2 years working at it. I'm almost at my third year in May of next year. And yeah, it's pretty bad. Some people find success really quickly. I have not. And a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that my content is very sporadic. I do so many topics. I focus on film and music, of course, but I just do so many topics. I don't really focus on one thing. And I don't do the typical clickbaity titles of going this guy first time reacting to this or whatever. I don't do that because it's not true. And number two, I think that's kind of, I don't know. It's just not fulfilling to me as a creative person. And I guess that's also part of it too, is because I'm a creative person, I can't do one thing so many times. I have to switch it up or else I get bored. I can't do it. And I just can't deliver my best self to you when I'm doing something that I'm not enjoying or that I'm not liking, right? So it's kind of annoying in that case, because I feel like people who can, who can stand not being as creative as they possibly could find better success and find more success, because let's be honest, life does not cater to creatives. Life works against creatives. That's just the fact. So, but ultimately I'm still doing YouTube because I enjoy it. I love putting my content out there, and I'm probably not going to stop anytime soon. I keep telling myself, I'm going to try to work my butt off. And even then I am not working my butt off. There are way more things that I could be doing. But I feel like I want to do it at least until I'm 33 or 34. I think if nothing happens until that age, then I'll just give up, because I want to live my life at that point. It's not okay to be just hustling, for 10 plus years. And that's what I plan to do. And yeah, if it was at the start of the pandemic that I started my YouTube and really started this side hustle, right? I think I was I was born in 98, 2018 is 2019. I was 22 years old. Makes sense. Of course, I'm 24. I don't know why I didn't just do it that way. I'm terrible at math. So yeah, so I guess I'm going to give myself until I'm 32 or 34. 34 years old, 33 or whatever. If I'm not where I want to be at that point, yeah, that's not good. So if I'm still at 2,000 subscribers when I'm 33, then that's not okay. So, but I believe during that time, I'll try to find other opportunities and whatnot, right? But I would say the YouTube is my biggest success so far. And also, I guess an honorable mention, that is, probably releasing my music, which you can listen to, Super Jesus Jackson, Spotify, Apple Music. I put out an EP in 2020. Again, thanks to the pandemic. A lot of it was thanks to the pandemic, although I did work on music while I was working, and then the pandemic hit, and then I released it in August of 2020. And that is probably, that's a huge honorable mention for me, because I've always wanted to put out music. I've always wanted being a musician is like a singer, an artist, that's my ultimate goal, really. And then there's YouTuber, and then there's podcaster, and whatnot. So, it's kind of, or some sort of content creator in general, right? So that's kind of the hierarchy there, but I was able to put out my music, and that just meant the world to me. That was a huge accomplishment. Again, it's sort of this thing where it's like, well, do I have to thank COVID for that, But hey, here's the thing. So many people didn't do what I did, right? Some people just laid, just laid on their bed and just rested and didn't do anything. And that's not to say that you have to, but for me, it's like, well, I very well could have just said, screw it, I'm just going to be playing video games all day, or I'm just going to go out, or it was the pandemic, you couldn't go out, but just have fun or watch movies or whatever. But I didn't. I decided to do it. And then I continued it even after the pandemic, even when everything went back to normal. I'm still very much doing that. And I very much work. When I go to work, I come back home, I try to have fun, and sometimes I have too much fun, and I don't do what I need to do, but, I very much still, and I'm doing another side job, and I'm always working in some way, shape, or form, and that can be very debilitating. But I just have it in my head where it's like, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. But who knows if it'll be worth it? I don't know. But yeah, YouTube consistency. The fact, because I'm not a consistent person at all. In my real life, I am very just I am a mess, okay? But I don't know what happened. I guess early 20s hit, and I was able to be, in the pandemic, I was able to be more consistent with my YouTube. I put out music, and even then, there's still stuff I want to do. I want to put out music. I want to put out audio stories. I just want to do a lot of things. I am going to put out some music at some point. I very much want to. I'm going to put out another EP. I'm working on an audio story right now for The Last of Us, a video game that, for those of you, it's one of the greatest video games of all time. an audio story very similar to what I did with the Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana, just kind of these very story heavy, I would say story focused podcast episodes, audio, just kind of story, segments on my channel, which, don't really get a lot of traction, but I really enjoy doing those. But this one is going to be quite a big one. And I'm very proud of what I'm doing with it. I really am. But where was I going with this? I did actually try working out during the pandemic. And I did that for a week and then I stopped. I never went back to it again, which is insane. You would think I would have done it. It's the pandemic. I was doing my YouTube and stuff like that. And I did not do that. But I think once I started to gain weight, which I've mentioned before in this podcast, starting in April of this year, I decided to go to the gym, and I haven't stopped since. I go every other day. So June, July, August, September, October, November, December, at this point, 7 months going at the gym. So more than 6 months. I did the 3 months, I did the 6 months. So it's pretty, I felt like I needed to go even below 3 months. So I was already solidifying that habit. So it is very much a habit now. I really hope I can continue doing it for the rest of my life. I really do. Even though sometimes it's easy to do, sometimes it can be annoying, but once you just do it, and then you feel good. So, but yeah, so I would say actually, and working out is something that when I was like, up until I was 20, up until now, like till April of this year, it was just something that I started feeling it earlier this year, right? Because I noticed my weight gain a little bit, and just kind of, I noticed my body and stuff like that. And I was just like, God, I probably should work out. I should do some exercise. And I always knew that it was the right thing to do. And I always told myself, when I get my own place or when I have my partner, that's when I'll work out or whatever. But that's obviously not the right thing to think. And so I just took it upon myself. I did it, and here I am. But no, knowing me, I am not a physical person at all. I prefer to stay home and do activities at home, or just do fun entertainment activities that don't involve physical activity. That's always been me, will always be me. But you got to work out. You just have to, or else you're going to die. So, but yeah, no, but before even my 20s, I was just like, fuck that, fuck working out. It's just not me, and I come from a family that doesn't really do it consistently at all. So, my dad kind of did it, but, he stopped too. And I wouldn't even say it was consistent. He just did it, sometimes. But, so, I guess YouTube, music, working out, those are huge accomplishments for me, the consistency of that. And even then, I want to be even more consistent. I want to, with other things in my personal life, of course, but even when it comes to YouTube, I want to go back to doing 2 videos a week. And I probably could, but I would heavily reduce my ability to do other activities. And so maybe come next year, I'm going to hinder my ability to do certain things that I'm doing right now, or kind of stop doing them for a while and focus on doing 2 videos a week. And I feel like I could do that for sure. I have an editor now, so hopefully he doesn't bail out on me anytime soon, and maybe he's up for editing another video of mine. It usually takes him a day, so it's not a huge problem. At least not that I think. So just a lot of things. But I'm happy with those, and yeah, I guess that answers some of your second question, Alex. Or just in case I didn't have answers for the first question. My ideal is, I want to be, like I said, if I can't make it as a musician somehow or some sort of creative, whatever that means, a YouTuber would suffice, audio storyteller, podcast, producer of some kind would suffice, and that's my ideal. I thought about getting into the video game industry in audio, but oh my God, that's a whole other wormhole. It's pretty insane. So yeah, I'm not sure. I am not sure, but I just hope that, I can get somewhere with either my YouTube or my creative endeavors in some way, shape, or form. I just hope I'm doing something that I enjoy, that I'm happy doing, and, partly, you kind of can't get to that point, because it's a point, pure happiness and bliss is not achievable. That's not human, because humans are creatures of change, and we get bored, and so we constantly have to strive towards something greater all the time. And of course, we can sustain consistency, of course, for a period of time, but that can only be for so long, so, but yeah, so that's that. Thank you so much, Alex, for submitting your question. It's fantastic. And thank you for your support as well. Sort of my number one fan, I would say. There were other folks that could have qualified as my number one fan, but they sort of dropped off now. So that sucks. I did not maintain their attention. But let's see. Second question is from John, which actually he might top Alex. But he tends to comment a lot on my community posts. That's really where you'll see him. You won't really see him in the video comments, but it's all right. Think about it. How many times do you comment on a video, right? But he asked, dude, where's my car? Well, there are different places that your car could be, John. It could be in your garage. Maybe you have a garage. It could be on your driveway. It could be on the side of the sidewalk if you live in a residential in a neighborhood, house neighborhood, that is. If you live in an apartment, it might be under shade, right outside your apartment. I'm not sure. Yeah, you could be at a stoplight right now, although, you would know where your car is because you're driving it, or maybe someone else is driving it and they're at a stoplight right now. Have you thought about that, John? Or they're at a stop sign. That could be a possibility too. Maybe they're parked outside of an establishment, fast food. It's quite a plethora of permutations as to where your car could be. Now, if you are Ashton Kutcher from the film, which I have not seen, I'm not sure. Maybe it's stuck back in the 70s because Ashton Kutcher was a cast member in that 70s show. So maybe it's there. Who knows, John? Who knows? But I think that's it. Maybe you should have tried to ask a more open-ended question like Alex. Although John, you really, really should appreciate my open-ended answer and my just huge long answer to a simple question such as, dude, where's my car? I certainly don't have your car, John, if that's what you're asking. I don't steal cars. I don't borrow cars for the most part. I do have my own car. And I guess, if it ever breaks down, I will borrow someone else's car, but it won't be yours because I don't know you. And maybe I can Uber. Maybe I would Uber. I could drive a car with a stranger. Although technically when you get into an Uber, you're not really driving. You are a passenger of the person who's driving. So, and taxis don't really exist anymore. At least, maybe in New York, obviously they do. And I'm sure in other places. And no, of course they exist everywhere. But what I'm saying is that, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but the feasibility of you going out, walking, and just seeing a taxi and kind of doing that thing where you're like, taxi, or whatever people say, that's not really likely. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, unless you're in New York City, of course, because that's where, that's the place that has the most amount of taxi activity, of course. But other than that, taxis are not really a thing. Ubers and Lyfts have taken control. They are the kings of the hill right now. So, John, oh God, I just burped right on the mic. That's really gross. I'm sorry. Fuck it, I would do it again in a heartbeat. Sorry about that. But John, yeah, I'm not sure. I gave you a crap ton of options here. Just you let me know. You let me know where's my car. How about that? How about you respond in that same community post and you tell me exactly where your car is, because I would really love to know. But at the same time, I don't know if you want to say exactly where you are and where your car is, because then someone might, want to get dibs on that. Although cars have pretty advanced, anti-theft systems, or do they actually? One of my friends got their car stolen recently, and the perpetrator did it quite easily. So actually, never mind. You're probably screwed. I'm just kidding, John. I'm just kidding. But yeah, go ahead and comment down below, John. Actually, right in this video, not even in the community post. Comment down below if you know where your car is and if you found it, because it's very important that you find it. We don't want you missing any doctor appointments. But actually, that's all the time we have. Actually, I managed to answer both of your guys' questions. Very thorough. I try to be, at least. Yeah, I'm guessing. Actually, maybe it was good I only got 2 inquiries, because if I had gotten more than 2, this video could have easily gone over 30 minutes. But this is a nice, solid 25+ minute video. But thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sorry I didn't have anything to eat or munch on or snack on, but you did hear me gurgle some water and burp, which is very appealing, of course, to a lot of people, especially to you. But give this video a like if you're on YouTube. Dislike it if you didn't like it. Comment down below, what your question would be. Maybe I'll answer it in the next episode. Maybe I will. But yeah, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I hope you're having a great night, great day, great morning, great gym workout, whatever it is you may be doing. But leave a review on the podcast platform of your choice. That helps a ton. But I think that's it for me. Thank you for your support and everything. Means a lot. You all take care, stay safe, and until next time, I love you.